Yeah, it's garbage. It started out passable only to end up as just mid. Yep, I'm calling this the flop. It's not even the boys, it's the flop. And I can get some of the terrible choices, like having the Gen V characters basically do nothing because it's called the boys, not the V. Yep, this is what I'm going to call Gen B. I call Gen V Gen B list because they were treated like just pretty much like background characters, like just fill-ins. Like it should be called Gen Fill because they just were treated like background characters, and you have Starlight just pretty much the Karen, just tell them like, "Hey, you're going to Canada." I wonder why they didn't tell them you're going to Mexico, since they have like the boys Mexico coming up. That could have been a good shout out, but you know what? Hey, they had to send them to a white country, I guess, to be safe. I don't know. But for real, they should have had them go to, I don't know, Mexico instead of like damn Canada. Who the hell is in Canada? But no, I can get the logic. You want the boys to actually like be the ones to kill Homelander. So I guess Gen B has to look like just get shafted, kind of like they had Soldier Boy get shafted, kind of like they had Black Noir get shafted, and also they had like Old Father pretty much get shafted in his mouth and pretty much blow his head off, which was was a pretty funny death, but overall it was a pretty bad way to go. But the boys have it to where it's black characters like die tragic deaths, and you have like Mother's Milk, which Mother's Milk is white. So you have DI character Mother's Milk just be the last, just pretty much black character to survive. And then you have Sister Sage, which I'm gonna do a related video talking about how Sister Sage is the dumbest character on The Boys. And I don't know. I think hopefully maybe she did it on purpose. I think maybe it would have been cool if like maybe in a future show or something, Sister Sage is like, oh, I played dumb because I really wanted to be dumb, and I really wanted Kamiko to like blast me, like pretty much chest fuck me out of being a genius, which she wasn't that much anyway. But Homelander wasn't even that strong. You have pretty much a superhero with super strength be weak as hell, and you have a genius be dumb as fuck. That's basically the flop. That's basically Amazon's original The Flop show. There, you just have a super smart person who's the dumbest person in the whole show, and you have a super strong person who's pretty weak as hell. But I stopped at episode 2 and watched the whole seasons of The Boys, and all of it was filler as hell. All of it was filler, all of it was tripe, all was pretty bad. And you know what? I tried to justify like the Black Noir death, because I saw the little knife and stuff like that, and I thought like, hey, this is a soup knife. Like it's made to penetrate soups. That's why it penetrated his suit. But there is no excuse why Black Noir didn't fly away. I mean, I was thinking maybe it's because like the Deep is like super strong and he actually could hold him down, and that was my apologetic for like super what you call it, like Soldier Boy not flying away from Homelander because he was getting held down. And maybe that's my excuse for Homelander getting held down and beat the hell out of like for that ending scene. But you know what? Hey, I really think that my excuse is giving too much credit to the writers because clearly they don't give a fuck. Clearly they don't give a fuck. This whole boys season was just a launch to make other mid shows that they could spend $10 million on and just have like 8 episodes a year, and then 6 of them are fucking filler because they're just very washed up tripe. Like, I'm gonna do a video about how I think like Donald Trump ruined late night comedy because when you're putting out fast food comedy, you're just going to take the lowest common denominator of comedy, which is making fun of Donald Trump. Like everybody wants to do it. Homelander was a Trump parody, and I kind of like people's gonna get mad at this because it makes him look weak, but I kind of thought it was pretty funny how Homelander was like, "Oh man, I'll suck your dick, like I'll save my life." I thought that was actually funny. I thought that it was totally the boys, but I guess boys will be boys. But yeah, this whole series was horrible. It was absolutely gross. It was absolutely disgusting. I like that Frenchie came back and like he talked Kamiko into like doing the chest blast and pretty much killing Homelander. And I like that they had a nod to the comment where they put the crowbar in Homelander's skull, and then you popped open his brains like it was an egg. That was all pretty cool. I actually studied the comic and stuff like that, and I even like how Butcher had his final death and stuff like that. But overall, I think all of these were pretty much cheap deaths, and they were just following a formula because they knew that they didn't need to just land their feet on this one because they'll have 5 other spin-offs from this show. And due to just lazy writings and stuff like that, like, again, I'm sorry, but Donald Trump is one of the worst things that happened to comedy because you have these people just pretty much feeding their fan base and just automatically just forcing people to clap when you like make fun of Donald Trump. And it's just killing creativity. It's feeding into laziness. And that's basically the boys. Much of the boys doesn't make sense. I don't know how you have basically the FBI find like Homelander's son, but the boys could just walk freely all throughout this universe and they're like the most wanted terrorists ever. Like, come on, give me a break. And I don't know, people like you have like Butcher looking into the camera. Like, I remember the seasons when they were showing Butcher's face. You're telling me that that the that they could just say that they had the FBI like kill Homelander and stuff like that, but they seen Butcher's face. He was a wanted man, but nobody's going to put two and two together and say, "Oh, that's that Australian blark. He's part of the FBI." Like, no, this is a horrible season. It was rushed. It was pretty much like just to do a The Boys-esque reference. It was pretty much them just jerking off and just hurrying up and just knowing that they're almost at the end, so they're really gonna rush everything. They're really gonna jerk off. They're really gonna bust out the deaths and stuff like that. And really, they killed the least interesting person, like Frenchie, who like, hey. And I'm glad to see that Starlight got pregnant and stuff like that. It's pretty retarded that she's pregnant and she's still like fighting, like being a superwoman and stuff like that. But I don't know, maybe she has a titanium gut. I was proud to see that Mother's Milk got married again. That was pretty cool. And yeah, overall, the flop, it was pretty bad. The Boys was pretty bad, but it was fast food television.